Hey guys, JamesMCD Reviews here, and today I'm going to be talking about Isle of Dogs. Oh wait, no I'm not, because none of the local theaters in my area are doing any showings of Isle of Dogs. None of them. So you know what I'm going to do instead? I'm going to talk about the much anticipated sequel to the critically acclaimed masterpiece, Sherlock Gnomes. Because I've got my priorities straight. Now, if for whatever reason you've forgotten about this masterpiece, which if you have, communist! Okay, I'm sorry, that wasn't right. But if for some reason you have forgotten about the first movie, it's okay, they do give you sort of a backstory at the beginning of this one. So basically, the plot of the movie is Romeo and Juliet, played by Golden Globe nominees James McAvoy and Emily Blunt, have moved to a new garden with all of their little colorful gnome friends. But, uh-oh, all the gnomes have gone missing. Who you gonna call? Not Ghostbusters, although that would be pretty impressive. But no, Sherlock Gnomes, the defender of garden gnomes, I think, played by Academy Award nominee Johnny Depp. And it's an exciting adventure to get back the gnomes and save them from being crushed by Moriarty, who is a yellow pie baby creature thing. Because obviously. So, the plot of this movie is easily one of the best stories in animation. It is really interesting and totally not predictable. I had absolutely no idea where the story was going. There are a few twists, which I'll get into in the spoiler section, so stick around for that if you have seen the movie or don't care. And there were some really nice morals that center around Romeo being upset because Romeo and Juliet have been crowned the leaders of the garden, and Romeo is upset that Juliet isn't paying any attention to him or spending any time with him because she's too busy prepping the garden and being a responsible leader. Yeah, you tell her, Romeo, she should forget about her responsibilities as a leader and go spend time with you, 'cause that makes perfect sense. Good on you, Romeo. You're a character that I sympathize with, I agree with. And speaking of which, let's talk about the characters, because they are absolutely memorable and totally not one note at all. Romeo is the... who is... Okay, I'll get back to Romeo, but Juliet is... the girl one, I think. Yeah. So the characters are super memorable. I can totally think of stuff to say about them, but they're probably go into spoilers or something, so I'm not going to. It's totally not because I can't remember a single thing about them. Now let's talk about the jokes. The jokes are out of this world. There's a scene at the beginning of the movie where the three little minion gnomes are telling you you're about to see the story of Sherlock Gnomes, and then one of them says, do we really have to do Sherlock Gnomes? Why can't we do a different story, like Game of Gnomes, Spider-Man Gnome Coming, Indiana Gnomes, which, by the way, those all sound like amazing movies. There's a scene where Sherlock and Juliet are running around the park dressed as a squirrel, and then after they get chased by a dog, which is supposed to be the Hound of Baskerville, Sherlock says, "You know, Miss Juliet, that isn't how a squirrel shakes its behind." And then he shakes his butt in her face, and she goes, "You know, you're acting like a rear end." It's funny because it's a butt. Oh, and there's a scene at the beginning where the two owners of the garden, who I guess are a couple now, I think. Yeah, they are. They make a comment saying, I'm gonna go get some tea. I've already practiced my order. And then she gives this long, elaborate order. Get it? Because they're British. Oh, speaking of racial stereotypes, there's a scene where they go into a china shop, and it totally isn't raising any questions. It totally isn't disrespectful looking or really obvious in its stereotyping. Oh, and there's also a scene where they go to visit Mary J. Blige, who is like this action figure type of character, and she has a song sequence, and it's totally warranted. It doesn't go on for too long. It's totally essential to the story. Now we're gonna talk about some spoilers, because there are a few twists and turns in this movie. So if you do not wish to be spoiled, then click off now. But for everyone else, here we go. So the big mystery in this movie is they're trying to find out who's been stealing all the gnomes from the gardens. And you know what? The big twist is that it was actually Watson. Oh my god, I totally didn't see that coming. You see, what happened was, so Watson has been like unappreciated by Sherlock. That's his whole arc. So he decided to pretend to be Moriarty and steal a bunch of gnomes so that Sherlock would go on this whole grand adventure and he would learn to appreciate his partner more. That totally makes sense for his character. But wait, there's more. They do another twist, and it turns out Moriarty, who died supposedly at the beginning of the movie, is actually still alive. Oh my god, this movie has more twists and turns than a Saw film. It turns out he's actually been the one orchestrating the whole plan, and he's been using Watson's plan as a cover-up so that he doesn't get caught. That makes perfect sense. That's totally not convoluted or confusing. And the ending of this movie is epic. We've got a ticking clock. The gnomes are about to be crushed by the opening parts of Tower Bridge in London. We've got Sherlock doing a sword fight with a pie man, Moriarty. We've got Romeo and Juliet riding on a drone, trying to distract a bunch of gargoyles. We've got Watson like swinging around with his Deus Ex Machina cane, and he frees all the gnomes with soap, and it's all happily ever after. And the two, they learn to, Sherlock and Watson learn to respect each other, and Romeo and Juliet kiss, and probably other things that were too X-rated for the movie. But then everyone's happy ever after, and there's a song, and So in short, you should definitely go see this movie, whether you're a fan of the first one, or you're not a fan of the first one, or you just like animated movies in general. I'd even say this movie acts as a really good April Fool's joke, because you could tell, I mean, I know April Fool's is past, but still, you could like go to your buddies and be like, hey, you want to go see a movie? You want to see, like, I don't know, Pacific Rim or Black Panther or something else? And they could be like, yeah, sure. And then you go to the movies and be like, oh no, gotcha, we're seeing a good movie. I'm giving this a 50 out of 5. And okay, I think I got a little bit overboard with the sarcasm. So, what are my actual thoughts on this movie? I mean, don't get me wrong, this is a bad movie. I mean, hell, you could look at the trailer and figure that out. But surprisingly, it's not the worst. I mean, there were some things that I actually thought were kind of okay. And in comparison to movies like Emoji Movie or Maze Runner or Wrinkle in Time, this one was the least painful to sit through. Mostly because a lot of the, like, groaner jokes that were in the trailers, like No Ship Sherlock and, like, some of the Mankini stuff, those didn't appear in the movie. So I was really happy about that. There are still a lot of bad jokes, but none that like made me audibly groan. Also, I thought the animation was really nice. I liked what they did with the designs of the gnomes and giving them like some like porcelain like texture and making them look scratched and like touched up and rough around certain edges and stuff like that. That was pretty cool. And there's also a few 2D sequences when they go into Sherlock's mind. That was pretty cool. Everything else is just kind of average. The acting is meh. The story and characters are meh. The music by Elton John is meh. It's just kind of a meh movie that you'll forget about as soon as you watch it. Now, that's not implying that you should go out and pay money to see it, but if you have little kids and, you know, they ask you, you know, to take them to see this, you'll be bored, but you won't be, like, beating yourself over the head waiting for it to be over. So that's more than I expected with this movie. Honestly, the only things that genuinely piss me off about this movie is, one, why does it exist? Like, who was seriously asking for a sequel to Romeo and Juliet? I mean, I don't remember much about the first one, but I didn't think it was good enough to warrant a sequel 7 years later. And two, why did this get a wide release and not Isle of Dogs? This movie should be found in the clearance bin at Walmart. This should not be getting a national multi-theater release. Like, seriously, I was so excited to see Isle of Dogs, but then when I found out that it wouldn't be showing in any of the theaters, but this would, that pissed me off to no end. So, fuck you, Sherlock Gnomes. I'm giving you a 1.5 out of 5, and that's being generous. But anyway, guys, thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know if you want to see me do more sarcastic, shitposty type of reviews, because it was a lot of fun to do. Coming soon are reviews for Ready Player One and Blockers. I unfortunately did not get to see Tomb Raider because I was sick, so I'll probably end up reviewing that when it comes on Blu-ray or something. And then also I've got a really special review. I can't tell you what it is yet because it's not finished yet, but I hope you guys enjoy it. That's coming really soon. But other than that, thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to follow me on social medias. Both those will be in the description, Instagram and Twitter. Subscribe to my animation channel, JamesMCD Productions. Give this video a like, comment below telling me what you think. Subscribe if you're new, ring the notification bell to see when I post a new review. And that about does it. So, thank you guys for watching. See you soon.